So I went to Boston for an audition to be a theater major at BU, and while I was there I got to meet some pretty fantastic people, some of whom are already enrolled at BU, and some of whom have a better chance of being enrolled, and some of whom, I hate to say, have a worse chance. I talked to them for a while, but most of it I just felt awkward, as I'm not that great at meeting people in large groups, whereas I prefer a much smaller setting. While I was there, I met up with Julia, aka JujuBeans360. We didn't get to hang out for as long as I would have liked, but since I'll be going to Boston a lot, once I get closer to choosing a school, I predict some more videos together. But I'll talk about her more in another video. Although there are lots of things to see in Boston, really the only things I filmed were this fire hydrant, this train, and this store that apparently believes that board bike is a thing. However, that changed when I entered this building. This building is located pretty close to Chinatown, but due to my having no sense of direction, I really can't tell you more about that. I can tell you, however, that this is the headquarters of the dance group known as Boston City Lights. As soon as I walked in, I was introduced to the director of the group, Duggan. Duggan is a man who is apparently a lot older than he looks, but after looking around for 5 minutes, you can no longer doubt it. He has worked with hundreds, possibly even thousands of amazingly talented people, and each of them has left their mark on the building. Whether it be by a picture, a prop, or graffiti on the wall, everyone that has been infected by Duggan through his studio has left a piece of themselves behind. Even the stairs in this building have personality. This staircase, which doubles as a shelf, leads to a loft which holds tapes from 30 years of performances and rehearsals. Even more interesting is this $40,000 mahogany and cast aluminum staircase, which was being thrown out by a bank that no longer exists, and somehow it ended up here. Even though the studio looks like 300 costume shops exploded, every now and then you'll discover evidence that someone lives there. For example, behind this mirror there's a hidden kitchen where Duggan apparently harbors bologna sandwiches, which he offered to us at least 3 times. It seemed like every door brought you to a different world, like how outside of this graffitied Museum of Awesome was the oldest Irish pub in Boston, and through this door you're led into a legit fancy Boston condo, and then up the elevator you hit some more stairs that look like they belong in a horror movie. But even with all of this amazing history and the thousands of stories I would love to be told, I was informed by Duggan that they are probably going to be given 3 months to clean the place up and remove most of the artifacts that give it such life and personality. The higher people want it to be just like everywhere else, clean and soulless. The studio reminds me somewhat of the TARDIS from Doctor Who. Although at first glance you may think it's stationary and solid, you'll soon discover that it is a living thing that changes, grows, and learns. Even if you remove the fake Christmas trees, paint over the murals, and throw out the tapes, the Boston City Lights Dance Studio will always have traces of those who passed through it. DFTBA.